I joined a book club. I needed an excuse to read things, to actually force myself to read. So I joined this little book club called Inklings, and you never know, maybe I'll make some friends. Probably not, but maybe. Oh god, I can hear kids again. Screaming. Do I need to get my sword? They don't even live down here. Evil little... Right, where was I? Book club. Make friends, vlog it. Probably won't help. So the first book I'm reading for this club is Evenings and Weekends by Oisin McKenna. Not the sort of book I'd usually read. It's about a group of 30-somethings over a hot weekend in London, June 2019. You've got Maggie, 30, pregnant and broke, wondering if having a baby with boyfriend Ed will be the last spontaneous act of her life. It's not gonna be, come on. Ed harbouring secret dreams of his own, Phil who hates his office job and falling for his housemate Keith who already has a boyfriend, and Rosaline, Phil's mum, who's tired of feeling like a side character and has been diagnosed with cancer. And it says, as Saturday night approaches in a city on the brink of political upheaval, all their lives are set to change forever. It's the hottest summer on record, and the weekend is about to begin. One thing I don't like about this cover, in fact three things. Firstly, it's a very dull cover, that, isn't it? It doesn't tell me anything, it doesn't tell me what the book's about. It doesn't tell me what to expect in the book. It doesn't tell me anything about the book. Secondly, the way the title is set out with these dashes. No, don't like that at all. And lastly, the amount of praise this book has for itself on the cover, front and back. There are 10 quotes on there. 10. Plus 3 more pages on the inside. That is way too much praise. Way too much praise. Never trust a book that praises itself that much. But hopefully I'll be surprised. Hopefully, maybe, I'll like it. Hopefully it is heartfelt, vivid and sexy, gorgeous, electric, intimate. And maybe it will make me cry, but no, it probably won't, because my heart is made of purest granite stone. No, it's not. But it's very rare that a book actually makes me cry, so shall we get on with it? First 2 chapters. On the other side, till we meet again. I don't usually listen to music while I'm reading. I prefer silence, but there was just so much noise. I mean, even 10 o'clock at night, there were people shouting, slamming car doors somewhere. Can a man not read in an evening in peace? Without people shouting, without people making an obscene amount of noise? The book. I read 3 chapters, not 2, like I wanted. I'm loving the complex relationship between all the characters. I'm loving how intertwined they all are, and how they all have these flaws and these little foibles, I suppose you might call them. These aren't perfect characters. They're not idealized. They're complicated, and they have complicated relationships to each other, and I really like that about the book. The book actually, it sucks you in, I find. It gets you involved. It's pacey. It's not slow at all. It's not fast either, but it sort of moves along at a decent pace. And it's far too relatable as well. Maybe it's because I'm the same age as those characters. Maybe it's because my life is at a strange crossroads right now. Maybe it's because I'm feeling the same melancholy and hopelessness as these characters seem to be. But it feels very relatable. And there was one thing that was, where's the book gone? There was one thing that was really relatable. Just at the end of chapter 3. Where were you? Oh yeah, it mentions a film where a man gets murdered while cruising on Clapham Common. I want to find this film and I want to watch it. But that's not the bit I was talking about. And no, it's not the sex in public toilets either. Where are you? So this is a character called Phil, and he's texting Maggie. And he says, "All I want is a Corbyn government and a massive ass." Yeah. Me too, buddy. Me too. I found the film. I've got one boot on right now, which is why I'm walking funny. Don't ask me why I've got one boot on and one boot off. I don't know. But I found the film. It's called Clapham Junction. It was a thing by Channel 4 in 2007, which aligns with the date in the book. Not a lot has happened. I'm about 100 pages into it now. It feels like it's a vibes-only book rather than a plot book. I'm a little concerned about this Keith character, who seems to be... Well, I get the impression he's in his 30s, but who under the age of 60 is actually called Keith? Nobody. Nobody under the age of 60 is called Keith. Just putting that out there. Otherwise, I am enjoying this book. It's not the usual kind of book I'd enjoy, but it is very, very, very well written, and that helps a lot. I'm going to get this boot off, and then I'm going to watch this Clapham Junction film. It's 10 o'clock at night, so it's going to be a late one. Might pour myself a bit of whiskey. Yeah, that sounds nice. I'm out of spritzer, so instead of the whiskey, it's tea. So the film was definitely a product of its time. The sort of representations of queerness in the film, yeah, it wouldn't pass muster today. That it was far too negative a portrayal of queerness to pass muster today. But it was still very fascinating. Definitely a product of its time. Unrelentingly grim. Bit problematic. And it did give me a little bit of an insight into the book. Because a lot of the same plot beats are there. Sort of the sex in public toilets is there. The the heat wave, that's in there. The hot weekend in London. This idea of like a group of characters whose lives sort of cross over and intersect and weave throughout the story. And I'm wondering how much influence this film Clapham Junction, had on Oisin McKenna and Evenings and Weekends. Because they're almost siblings in a way. They're very, very close together. Evenings and Weekends could be Clapham Junction if it was written today. Anyway, where am I up to with the book? I am up to chapter 8 at the minute. It's getting very interesting. I like how the conflict between the characters is building, how Phil is trying to say stuff to Maggie, Maggie is trying to say stuff to Phil, they're not quite communicating, and you can see there's going to be like, it's like a little bit of a time bomb, and there's going to be like a rupture later on, I think. It's definitely leaning towards that way. You've got Ed having doubts, you've got people contemplating on the value of their own life. And it's sort of, it actually reminds me that, like, a lot of my own generation, a lot of people born before, say, like 2003, say, we were promised this golden, prosperous future. Like a house of our own, job security, prosperity, a good, decent life, a happy life like previous generations enjoyed. But then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. I mean, the 2008 financial crisis happened. And everything was just stripped away from us. And then, of course, you've got Brexit, which made it worse. And I think most of us, a lot of us, are just feeling lost and adrift and like there's almost no future. And I think the book captures that feeling incredibly well. It captures that feeling of being lost, of being adrift in this hostile world which we were told was not going to exist. We were told the future was going to be very different. And the book captures that feeling of hopelessness far, far too well. I may read in the garden this afternoon. if it's quiet. There's a van out there at the moment. I've got headphones. I mean, hopefully my headphones, my tablet, my Wi-Fi extends as far as the garden. I've never tried it, but hopefully. Yeah, let's read in the garden this afternoon. Do it that way. Sudden change of plans, guys. Spontaneous decision. We're going to the beach. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that is nice. The one problem with this beach, a lot of jellyfish. Or as they say in France, Poisson the wibble-wobble. Very busy as well. Looking for a quiet spot to read my book. Might find a cafe somewhere. Oh, that is nice. That is very nice. Ho ho ho, yeah. Better than six. There you go. Poisson the wibble-wobble. Ooh, it's moving. Shit. So remember that noise thing, that noise problem I was having? You know what I found? What I saw out the window not so many days ago. It's been about a week since I finished this. I saw some kids sneaking into my yard. They're out of control. They don't even live down here. So, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I confronted these kids, of course. I told them, I went out there and said, "Oi, what the hell do you think you're doing?" They lied to me and said they were looking for Station House, which doesn't exist. Why would they be looking for Station House around here anyway, when the station is 10 minutes walk away? Not even in this area of the city. Anyway, that's just my personal problems. What did I think of this? Evenings and weekends. Oh, loved it. Didn't think I was going to, based on, you know, the cover, it being more of a an ensemble character piece rather than, you know, plot driven, being more vibes than plot. But I really loved it. The writing style is flipping beautiful. The descriptions are so evocative, so they paint an image in your head. They paint a clear and vivid image in your head, and there are times when McKenna is like describing rooms, and you can almost smell those rooms. It's so beautiful in its descriptions and in the way it describes things. The thing that makes this book, though, is the characters. They are so relatable. They are incredibly relatable, especially Ed, who's feeling lost and adrift in his life, and Phil, pining, yearning, looking for some sort of connection. The way all the characters interact with each other, their relationships to each other, the way they're drawn is, I would say, it's expertly done. And I think this is one of the best books I've actually read for a long time. It's a book I think would benefit from another read or two, because McKenna sort of drip feeds you details and information about the characters that seems irrelevant at the time he drip feeds it to you, but becomes like super important later on. And I think going back, you'd be able to see more details, and you'd be able to see the book in another light. So I definitely think I'm going to come back to this one in a year or two. But otherwise, yeah, really enjoyed this, even though didn't think I was going to.